The sunlight pours in through the windows of the courthouse, pale but chilly, a reminder that truth when it's out never quite feels warm. Reporters congregate outside, their microphones shining as they anticipate the first word, the first tear, the first indication of what will turn into one of the most poignant legal battles ever to be waged by the sister wives family. Christine moves slowly inside to her seat. Her dress is plain, pale navy blue, but her face is fierce. It's not anger so much as determination honed from years of unspoken heartache. She shoots a glance at Kody. He doesn't return it. Robyn's hand is on his arm, a gesture of support or possession. Christine can feel the tension emanating off of them, even from where she stands across the room. The judge enters. The room stands, then sinks into silence. This court is now in session. The clerk's voice rings out. The gavel falls, and so begins a trial that isn't merely about custody. It's about truth versus illusion, love versus control, and the thin line between faith and freedom. Christine's attorney, a quiet but firm woman named Mariah Davis, rises and faces the court. Your Honor, this is not a hate case. It's about a mother who would not remain silent. It's about the years of psychological manipulation concealed behind smiles and Sunday dinner. Her words linger heavy. The audience leans forward, even Kody's jaw clenches. Kody's attorney stands up next, his voice smooth as if practiced. Your Honor, the plaintiff wants to make a private family issue public. My client, Mr. Brown, has been an exemplary father and devoted husband. This, he points towards Christine, is a private grudge. Christine drops her head, but the pain flickers across her eyes. She's heard that phrase before. Vindictive, emotional, jealous. They once made her shut up. Not anymore. The first witness enters, Janelle Brown. She enters, firm but uncertain, holding a bundle of papers. For years she had kept herself neutral, but neutrality doesn't last long in a battle for truth. Christine observes her closely. Their relationship has been tried, pulled, rebuilt, but now, on that witness stand, even friendship might be a weapon. Mrs. Brown, Mariah starts softly. What did you notice in the months leading up to Christine's departure from the family home? Janelle takes a breath, her tone soft. There was a change. Christine was like she was vanishing inside herself. Kody grew remote, particularly when Robyn was present. It wasn't neglect. It was favoritism that shattered everything. The courtroom whispers. Robyn shifts. Kody shakes his head. The defense attorney objects. Your Honor, speculation. Overruled. Wafayard, the judge responds. Go on. Janelle pauses, then continues. Christine once said to me that she felt like a ghost in her own marriage. That's when I knew she was through pretending. Christine's eyes shine. With each word, she draws closer to the truth she's been longing to speak out loud. Kody's face, though, is inscrutable, a mask of pride and denial. The second half of the testimony rattles the room. Mariah provides financial documents. Years of lopsided expenditures, clandestine transfers, accounts controlled by Kody and Robyn alone. Christine's attorney spreads out the documents deliberately, her voice calm. Your Honor, what we think these records indicate is that money intended for the whole family was funneled to accounts that only Kody and Robyn Brown would receive benefits from. Robyn's eyes flick anxiously. Kody fidgets in his seat. That's a lie. He growls just loud enough for everyone in the room to hear. The judge glances up quickly. Mr. Brown, you'll have your say. Christine can hardly breathe. It is the first time their personal suffering, the years of discrimination, of promises unkept, is being revealed to the world. The burden of it all weighs down on her chest, but she remains calm. Her children are observing. Mariah goes on. Christine attempted to voice concerns in private, and she was dismissed, ignored. Her voice was irrelevant until she mustered the courage to bring this reality here to this court. Kody's attorney sneers. Your Honor, this is a campaign of slander. My client has been vilified as some monster when all he ever wanted was to maintain his family intact. The judge regards both parties. We will allow the evidence to be heard. Christine's eyes land on Kody. Her tone, calm but insistent, finally punctures the silence. You craved control, not family. You didn't want togetherness, only obedience. The courtroom is still. Journalists jot. Flashing lights outside strobe like lightning. Even the judge appears to be entangled in the weight of her words for an instant. Hours tick by, but seconds feel like heartbeats resonating through years of suffering. Janelle descends. Robyn speaks to her attorney, her voice shaking. It's apparent she's aware of what is about to be, Christine's turn on the witness stand. Before that moment arrives, the judge calls for a brief recess. The courtroom empties slowly, the hum of reporters filling the hallways. Christine walks to a quiet corner, clutching the necklace her daughter gave her. Mariah approaches softly. "You did good," she says. Christine nods, her voice a whisper. "I'm not doing this for revenge. I'm doing this so my kids never think silence is strength." Outside, rain starts falling in a light drizzle. Kody stands beneath the archway of the courthouse building, addressing Robyn. His voice is biting, furious. "She's trying to ruin everything," he tells her. Robyn appears terrified, near begging. "Perhaps she only wants to be heard, Kody." He turns his back. As the recess ends, both sides sit down again. Christine breathes deeply. The second round of testimony will be from her. Her memories, her hurt, her truth. She knows it will hurt. But healing never comes without breaking first. The judge calls her name. "Christine Brown, please take the stand." Her footsteps echo through the courtroom. Every step is heavy, but her spine stays straight. She sits, takes the oath, and looks up at the judge. Mariah gives her a small nod, the kind that says you're not alone. Christine looks toward Kody. For a brief second, she remembers the man who once promised her forever, but forever ended a long time ago. Now it's time for justice. She lifts her mouth to speak, but her voice gets stuck. The courtroom waits. Her eyes well up, but she does not break. "I loved him," she starts quietly, "but love doesn't mean you lose yourself." And so, session 1 comes to a close, not with a judgment, but with a start. A guarantee that whatever comes after will rattle the truth out of all the lies ever uttered within the Brown household. The courtroom feels heavier as Christine takes the stand. The air, once filled with whispers, now holds a tense stillness. Every pair of eyes, from reporters to family members, is locked on her. Even Kody, who spent the morning looking smug, seems less certain now. Christine folds her hands across her lap. The wedding ring disappeared long ago, but its loss still smoldering like an open wound. The judge gestures for her to continue. "Mrs. Brown," Mariah says softly, advancing, "you've indicated that this case is not about vengeance. Can you inform the court what it is about?" Christine gulps. "It's about freedom," she states. "It's about my kids being able to grow up and not feel like their value is based on who their dad is favoring that week. It's about honesty, because I've spent years pretending that everything is okay when it wasn't." Her voice shakes, but each word hits like a hammer. Robyn's eyes are shining with tears. Janelle glances away, not able to look. Kody shifts, his lawyer whispering something he doesn't appear to hear. Mariah moves in. "Can you explain what you mean by favoritism?" Christine inhales slowly. "When Robyn came into the family, the whole dynamic changed. Kody began not to show up for dinner, for birthdays. If the children wanted to speak with him, he'd tell them he was too busy, but we all knew where he was going, and when I requested his time, he told me I was needy." The audience gasps again. Kody's attorney stands up. "Objection, emotional manipulation, irrelevant." The judge looks up. "Overruled, let her continue." Christine goes on, her voice building. "I remained silent all those years because I thought it was honorable. Because I was taught that silence equals love, that loyalty means to stay even when it's painful. But love shouldn't erase you." She looks at Kody, the man to whom she once felt most loyal. His eyes flash, hard and defensive. Mariah directs her attention to the evidence table. "Your Honor, the plaintiff presents Exhibit B, journal entries by Mrs. Brown in her last year in the family." Kody whispers something under his breath. Christine turns away, unable to bear watching him now. Mariah reads from a page. "He said I was being dramatic again, that I always turn things around to be the victim. I explained to him I just want him to look at me, to really listen to me. He laughed and said, 'You're not the center of this family, Christine.'" The courtroom goes silent. A reporter's pen freezes in mid-scratch. Oh, even the bailiff is rigid. Christine's eyes are closed. "That was the night I decided I was leaving," she says quietly. The judge settles back in his chair, the room heavy with her words. Then, without warning, Kody stands up. "Your Honor, may I say something?" His lawyer grabs his sleeve, but Kody brushes him aside. "I need to respond." The judge pauses, then nods. "You may." Kody advances, his jaw clenched. "I'm sick of being characterized as a monster. I gave everything to this family. My time, my heart, my faith, and yeah, things went wrong. But that's not abuse, that's marriage." Christine's face doesn't shift. "You gave everything to control." she says softly. Kody's voice rises. No, I gave everything to keep it together. You left because you couldn't handle the sacrifices this life required. His tone rings through the courtroom, unedited and raw. The judge holds up a hand. Mr. Brown, that's sufficient. Maria steps in quickly, her voice soft but biting. Your Honor, this tantrum only serves to reinforce the atmosphere Christine described, one of control and intimidation. Let's proceed. Kody returns to his seat, seething. Robyn places a hand on his arm, speaking softly, something that appears to placate him or remind him of those watching. Christine takes a deep breath. Her hands shake, but her gaze remains fixed on the judge. I'm not here to ruin him, she says. I simply want the truth on record. For once, I want the truth to count. Mariah nods. No further questions, Your Honor. The judge glances over to Kody's side. Defense may cross-examine. Kody's attorney stands, adjusting his tie. Mrs. Brown, he starts with forced civility, you indicate that you departed for your children. But isn't it the case that you departed also because you wished for independence, economic and emotional? Christine leans forward slightly. Yes, independence is not selfishness. But independence that involved peddling private family information to the media, didn't it? He persists. The audience gasps. Christine's eyes blaze. That's not true. The lawyer smirks. Really? You never benefited from interviews? Never exploited the family's name for publicity? She sits up straight. If my telling my story can help another woman leave behind pain, then I'll speak every single day. The courtroom is charged with emotion. Even the judge is visibly affected. The cross-examination plods on for almost an hour. Questions regarding parenting, religion, duty, but Christine takes it all in stride. She doesn't blink, doesn't stumble. Every response is measured, careful, authentic. When it finally concludes, the judge announces a recess. Journalists spill out to call their producers. Christine's testimony is going viral. One breathes. Outside the courthouse, the rain has stopped, but the clouds still hang low. Christine steps into the hallway, Mariah beside her. Janelle waits quietly near the exit. You did it, Janelle says. Christine smiles faintly. No, not yet. But I'm getting closer. Down the corridor, Robyn stands beside Kody. His face has changed. Less anger these days, more fear. She's turning them all against me, he says under his breath. Robyn whispers, perhaps they just see you now. He doesn't move. He simply gazes through the glass doors at the waiting cameras, the pandemonium of a world he is no longer able to command. The next witness is brought into the courtroom, a private family therapist who had worked with the Browns during their last year together. The audience stiffens. This is new. This is a surprise. The counselor, a woman in her 50s, takes the stand. Her tone is professional, but her eyes reveal discomfort. Mrs. Brown attended several sessions with her husband, she begins. It was clear early on that there was a significant imbalance of emotional power. Mariah steps closer. Can you clarify what you mean by imbalance? The counselor nods. Mr. Brown would shut down Mrs. Brown's emotions. He talked at her, minimized her feelings. When she hurt, he diverted the blame. It was ongoing. Kody's attorney protests. Opinion, not fact. Overruled, the judge repeats. The counselor goes on. I recall one session where Christine asked whether she was too emotional. Mr. Brown laughed and said, perhaps if you could stop crying, we might be able to make some progress. That was the last session they attended together. Gasps spread through the room. Christine dabs at a tear. Kody looks at the floor. The judge pauses for a long time, then declares, court will adjourn for the day. As others start to exit, Christine remains in her seat looking straight ahead. She doesn't stir until the room is almost deserted. Mariah moves closer. You were amazing today, she whispers. Christine nods, her gaze still far away. It doesn't feel like a win, she says. It feels like bleeding in public. On the sidewalk, the reporters yell her name. Christine, do you still love him? Someone yells. She hesitates for a second, turns around to them and says, I love the person I used to be. The one who believed in him. But she's gone now. She disappears into the crowd, the courthouse receding behind her, and within, Kody sits isolated, the walls closing in around him. For the first time ever, he senses that no argument, no charisma, no display of dominance can take back what has been said on tape. The truth is out, and it's not going gently. The following morning, the courthouse is different, heavier, charged, as if every corner of it holds its breath for what's about to unfold. The media vans cluster along the street like vultures circling before a storm breaks. Within, Christine enters through the doors with quiet determination. Her eyes are weary but clear. Today, she knows, won't only test her truth, it will also test her strength. Kody is already seated next to Robyn. He is in a black suit, his hands locked tightly together, but his characteristic confidence appears shaken. The minute Christine walks into the room, his eyes dart toward her and then rapidly away. For years he wrote the script, but now, under oath, he'll be forced to confront the pieces of himself he kept even from his wives. The judge enters, the gavel swooshing through the mutters. Court is now in session. Mariah, Christine's attorney, rises. Your Honor, this morning we will introduce new evidence, private messages between Mr. Brown and several family members that expose manipulation and coercion in the home. The courtroom rustles. Kody's attorney rises to his feet. Your Honor, these are private communications acquired in violation. Mariah interrupts him. All of these communications were voluntarily submitted by witnesses, including Mrs. Janelle Brown. The judge nods. Admissible. Continue. Kody's shoulders bunch up. Christine looks over at Janelle, who gives a tiny encouraging nod. It's plain she's picked her team. Mariah moves forward, cradling a fat folder. Message 1, she reads, from Kody to Christine. If you can't be more supportive of Robyn, then perhaps you don't need to be in this family anymore. Gasps resonate. Kody blinks his eyes closed, his jaw clenching. Mariah goes on, her voice unyielding. Message 2, delivered 2 days later. You're teaching our children rebellion. If they become men who disrespect me, that's on you. Christine takes a deep breath, recalling how those words seemed to poison her. I didn't sleep after that message. She says quietly, I felt like I was failing as a mother. The judge examines Kody. Mr. Brown, do you deny sending these? Kody pauses. I might have, but you're reading them out of context. Mariah's tone turns sharp. Then please, tell me the context in which threatening to take a wife away from her family is acceptable. Kody moves uncomfortably and defensive. I was attempting to lead. That's what a husband and father does. I wanted unity. Unity, Mariah says again, her eyes narrowing, or control. The question lingers like smoke. The ensuing silence is oppressive. Christine's children sit silently in the back of the courtroom, their eyes wide, their faces drained. The heaviness of their mother's words and their father's settles upon their hearts like boulders. Mariah places the folder on the floor. Your Honor, we will now call our next witness, Ms. Robyn Brown. Everyone's attention is on Robyn. She pauses, looking at Kody. He nods slightly, but warmth is not in that nod, just expectation. Robyn stands up, smoothing out her skirt, and walks over to the stand. Following her oath, she clutches her hands tightly in her lap. Her voice shakes initially. I don't want to hurt anyone, she states. Mariah nods. Nobody's asking you to hurt somebody. Just to be honest. Robyn inhales deeply. There were times that I felt in the middle. Kody would speak with me about Christine, about how she wasn't being spiritual enough or how she was poisoning the family with negativity. I tried to stay out of it, but he'd get angry if I didn't. Christine's breath catches. She hadn't seen this coming. Kody's attorney springs up. Objection! Speculation. The judge exhales. Overruled. Go on, Mrs. Brown. Robyn's eyes are shining. He wanted us all to just do what he said. No questions, no doubts. If we didn't, he called it betrayal. She stops, her voice cracking. I began to believe him. I thought maybe Christine was the issue. But now, hearing all of this, I think we were all just scared of him leaving us behind. A shocked silence pervades the courtroom. Christine's eyes brim with tears of sadness and shock. Kody is seething, talking harshly to his lawyer in an undertone. Mariah approaches. So, Mrs. Brown, you are claiming to have been manipulated too? Robyn slowly nods. Yes, perhaps not in the same manner, but yes. He led us all to believe that our value was based on his validation. The words strike like a sledgehammer. The judge inclines forward. You may thank me for my patience, Mrs. Brown. You are free to leave. Robyn passes by Kody, but he doesn't glance at her. His fist clenches the table, knuckles white. Christine stands and regards her, muttering under her breath, "Thank you." Mariah turns to the judge. "Your Honor, the plaintiff rests for today." The judge nods. "We will continue tomorrow with the defense's witnesses." But the tale doesn't conclude when the gavel comes down. Not today. As the courtroom clears, Christine sits back in her chair, her eyes fixed on the sheen of the witness stand's polished wood. Mariah puts her arm along the side of her. "You didn't think Robyn was going to speak out, did you?" Christine slowly shakes her head. No. Perhaps she's free too. Outside, rain comes again, a relentless beat off courthouse steps. Reporters blanket the doors. Robyn files out first, lost in a sea of noise and camera flashes. She seems confused, not knowing whose side she's on anymore. Kody files out second, face stormy. "They're distorting everything," he tells his attorney. "She's got them all against me." The attorney takes a deep breath. "Sir, currently, they're doing that themselves." Christine lingers, hoping the crowd thins. Her phone vibrates. A text message from Janelle. "You were brave today. We all see you now." For the first time in a long time, Christine smiles. Later that evening, sitting alone in her hotel room, Christine relives the day's testimony, every word, every glance, every tear. She recalls the early years, laughter in the kitchen, family vacations, Kody's charm that initially felt like warmth but eventually became a prison. She whispers to herself, "How did we get here?" A gentle knock breaks through her thoughts. Janelle's it. She enters, closing the door. "You okay?" Christine nods weakly. "Just tired." Janelle takes a seat beside her. "Tomorrow will be tougher. He'll retaliate." Christine's jaw tightens. "Let him." I'm done being scared. Across town, Kody paces his living room. Robyn sits quietly on the couch, her eyes red from crying. "You made me look like a fool in there," he snaps. "I told the truth," she says softly. "Your truth," he fires back. "Not our truth." Robyn stares at him for a long time. Perhaps that is the problem, Kody. Perhaps there never was an our truth, only yours. He doesn't say anything. The house is cold, emptier than it ever was. Meanwhile, back at the hotel, Christine finally closes her eyes. For the first time in years, she sleeps without fear of what tomorrow might bring, because whatever happens next, she's already won something bigger than a verdict, her peace. But tomorrow will have an unexpected twist, a surprise witness, a revelation that will rock the courtroom to its foundations and alter everything they believed they knew about the Brown family's history. The courtroom is weighted today, as if each breath contains the implications of betrayal. The air conditioning purrs in the background, but even it can't penetrate the silence that blankets the room. The judge hasn't yet appeared, but everyone senses that something is brewing, something large. Christine sits with folded arms, her face stern but her eyes agitated. She's weary of being accused of lying, weary of playing along like this was all about family business or custody. This is about truth. Her truth. Robyn, perched just on the other side of the aisle, grips a tissue in her hand, her attorney speaking in hushed tones to her. She appears delicate, her voice shaking as she whispers something into the air. Perhaps a prayer, perhaps an appeal. Kody is standing by the window, jaw clenched, eyes jumping back and forth from Christine to Robyn. He's gritting his teeth, trying to keep himself in check, but that blaze of him, that explosive sense of pride, is there, waiting to erupt. The bailiff speaks up. "All rise." The judge enters, serene but stern. The wooden gavel comes down once. The sound seems like a gunshot. "Today," the judge says, "we'll address the submitted recordings and testimony related to the financial transfers in question." Whispers ripple across the gallery. Financial transfers. The words alone sound like a storm brewing. Christine straightens in her seat. This is her moment. Her attorney, a calm woman named Marcia, rises. "Your Honor, these are not mere monetary transactions. These are the building blocks of dishonesty. We will demonstrate how Kody and Robyn spent family money without the input of the other wives, moving property money and communal assets into exclusive accounts." Kody bangs his fist on the table. "That's not accurate. Every penny was accounted for. We were creating a future together." Christine cuts in hard. "A future with who, Kody? You and Robyn, or the rest of us?" The room falls absolutely silent. Even the judge angles forward slightly. Kody takes a hard breath. "You don't get to turn this into a betrayal, Christine. You walked away." Christine's voice breaks, anger and sadness mixed. I walked away because you already had. You left us emotionally long before I left physically. Marcia asserts herself again, drawing up a document. Your Honor, Exhibit C, documentation of a transfer paid into a private account in Robyn's name from the family trust, which is shared. The judge glances over his glasses. Mr. Brown, Mrs. Brown, what do you have to say? Robyn stands, her eyes tearful. That money was for the children, for college. It wasn't intended to hurt anyone. Christine leans forward, her voice bitter. Then why wasn't anyone informed? Why keep it a secret? Robyn's lip quivers. Because you would have fought it. You always fought everything. Kody moves closer to Robyn, speaking softly but loudly enough for everyone to hear. You don't have to tell her anything. The judge holds up a hand. Mr. Brown, sit down. But the harm is done. The tension between the ex-sister wives has become raw and visible. No more friendly smiles, no more friendly words. This is years of resentment, fear, and betrayal spilling out in public. The courtroom gazes mesmerized. Christine's attorney calls in the next witness, Janelle. She appears conflicted approaching the stand, her hand grasping her necklace as if it is the sole thing holding her upright. Sitting down and extending her hand to take the oath, her gaze glances off in the direction of Kody, then away. Mrs. Janelle Brown, Marcia starts quietly, can you explain to the court what you learned about the family's financial records? Janelle pauses. I discovered inconsistencies. I didn't know at first, but then I noticed some deposits and withdrawals that didn't align with the family's joint strategy. Kody bangs his hand again. Janelle! You know this isn't what it appears to be, but Janelle doesn't retreat this time. Her voice erupts into a hysterical shake. Then explain it, Kody. Because I begged you for months to show me the statements and you kept saying, trust me. Well, I did, and that trust broke us. Her words slice through the air. Even Robyn flinches. The judge leans back, scribbling notes. This is not a marriage tribunal, he reminds, but these testimonies do establish motive and trust violations relevant to shared assets. Kody's face is red now, his voice dangerously low. You all act like I'm the villain here. I held this family together for decades while you, Christine interrupts him, while we what? While we attempted to buy your definition of love? There's a silence, the kind that stings. Kody glances at her, actually looks, and for an instant his rage lags. He looks nearly regretful. But then Robyn grabs his arm and instantly his face closes up again. Robyn whispers something, too quietly for anyone else to hear, and Kody nods as if he's reminding himself again that he is correct. Christine's eyes snag on that movement. She leans back in her chair, speaking in a chill tone. There it is, the whisper instead of truth. The courtroom murmurs. Even Janelle drops her head. Christine's attorney pauses, taking a deep breath. No further questions. But first they have to exit. Kody's lawyer asks for a recess. The judge awards 15 minutes. The cameras switch off. The tension doesn't. First, Kody storms out, then Robyn hurries after him. Christine remains seated, eyes closed, breathing through the mayhem. Janelle sits next to her, mouthing, You did good, Chris. Christine shakes her head. It's not winning, Janelle. It's about getting him to confront what he's done. Outside the courthouse, reporters cluster like vultures. Cameras click, microphones extend out. Christine, is it true you intend to countersue for emotional damages? She continues walking. No reply. Robyn, comment on the money transfers. Robyn covers her face, mouthing quietly, No comment, please. Kody does stop, though. He glares straight at the reporters and says, You all want a headline? Fine, I love those women. I gave them everything, and now they're dragging me through the mud for it. His voice shatters, not quite rage, not quite tears, just exhaustion. Within the courtroom, the clerk of the judge begins putting the papers back in order. When all have gone, the judge says softly, We will resume tomorrow for the resumption of testimony. Christine nods, picking up her papers. Janelle assists her. Robyn and Kody exit separately, not touching, not talking. Their space is chillier than the air in the courtroom. When Christine goes out, the sun on her face. For the first time, she is nearly serene, as if lying honestly for once has provided her with something the marriage never gave. Liberty. The last day of witness testimony starts with an unsettling quiet. The courtroom is a building that is standing on tiptoe, the quiet before the storm that everyone senses is about to unleash itself. Outside, the reporters swarm, camera at the ready, muttering that it's going to change everything. Inside, Christine sits calmly, hands clasped, face impassive. This is no longer about revenge. This is about the truth, and she's finally ready to confront every aspect of it. Kody and Robyn enter a few minutes later. They don't hold hands this time. Robyn's face looks pale, her eyes red from crying. Kody's jaw is tight, but there's something new there. A flicker of uncertainty, maybe even fear. The judge enters, and the gavel strikes once, echoing across the wooden walls. Court is now in session. We'll proceed with the final round of testimony and evidence. Christine's attorney stands. Your Honor, we call to the stand Robyn Brown. A hum runs through the room. Robyn hesitates, searching Kody for encouragement. He nods subtly, but she averts her eyes. As she approaches the stand, the click of her heels on the floor seems excruciatingly audible. After the oath, Christine's lawyer begins carefully, her tone soft but deliberate. Robyn, we've heard testimony regarding financial discrepancies and emotional distress within the family. Today, we'd like to hear your side, in your own words. Robyn breathes hard. It wasn't meant to be this way. We were a family. We had plans. Kody wanted to create something permanent, something that would keep us safe. The accounts, the transfers, they weren't hidden. They were survival. Christine's attorney nods. Survival from what? Robyn gazes downward. From losing everything. From the family breaking up. Christine cannot remain quiet. Her words cut through the intention. Or from the truth being revealed? Robyn's eyes flash up. You think I wanted this? I pleaded with him to stop. To be fair, her voice breaks. But he wouldn't listen. He said it was the only way to maintain control. The courtroom gasps. Even Kody appears shocked. Robyn! He barks, his voice low but angry. That's not what I said. Robyn's head shakes, tears falling. You said they couldn't stand the truth. That if we revealed to them the money, the houses, they'd be gone. You said Christine would annihilate the family. Kody's face reddens. You're distorting my words. The judge bangs the gavel. Order. But nobody's calm anymore. The gallery murmurs, the reporters jot down notes, the air hums with tension. Christine's attorney pushes on. Robyn, are you telling me that Kody consciously kept some financial information from the other wives? Robyn swallows. Yes. Kody rises quickly, his voice booming. That's a lie. The judge glares. Mr. Brown, sit down. But Kody doesn't. He turns to Christine, shaking his finger at her with shaking hands. You wanted this, didn't you? You wanted to destroy me. You turned them all against me. Christine stands up slowly. No, Kody. You did that all by yourself. The judge breathes deeply. Mrs. Brown, please continue your testimony. Robyn rubs her eyes. After the transfers, I realized it was getting out of control. He was going to move everything into a new account under a new LLC, and I couldn't do it anymore. Christine's attorney asks, do you have evidence of this? Robyn nods, her hands trembling as she gropes for her purse. She produces a flash drive. I copied the emails. I knew that's where it could head. Gasps ring out. Even Christine seems shocked. Kody's voice goes low like a snarl. You betrayed me. Robyn looks him in the eye, her voice cracking. No, Kody. You betrayed us all. The bailiff takes the flash drive and presents it to the judge. He inspects it, then nods at the court clerk. We will examine this right away. Christine takes a seat, her heart racing. Janelle, who is sitting behind her, leans forward and says softly, everything is different now. Christine nods, but her expression isn't victory. It's sadness. Because even though she's winning the case, she's losing what's left of the family she once loved. The judge clears his throat after a long pause. This court will admit the flash drive into evidence. Mrs. Brown will review the content in private chambers. Until then, I'd like to hear closing remarks. Christine's attorney stands, her voice firm and empathetic. Your Honor, this is not a case of money only. This is a case of manipulation, of control, of the silent pain of women who trusted too long. The evidence proves habitual deceit, not only in finances, but infidelity. She glances at Christine. My client is not asking for revenge. She's asking to be free from years of emotional and financial servitude. Kody's lawyer stands up, fidgeting with his tie. Your Honor, this is a family problem, not a criminal matter. Mr. Brown never meant harm. He acted in confusion and desperation to keep a family together that was already breaking apart. The judge hears silently, face impassive. When both parties are done, he leans forward. I need time to look at all the evidence, including this latest submission, before I issue any statements. But I want to speak to what I've witnessed here, not as a judge, but as one who has observed human nature. Everyone hangs on his every word. This courtroom is a mirror. It shows us what occurs when truth is tardy, when pain grows, and when love becomes possession. There are no victors here, there are only lessons. Christine lowers her head, tears sparkling in her eyes. Robyn quietly weeps. Kody sits rigidly forward, expressionless. The judge rises. This court will reconvene tomorrow for final judgment. The gavel comes down one final time. The minute they step outside, it's chaos. Reporters yell questions, cameras pop, and social media already buzzes with conspiracy theories. Christine pushes through the commotion, her own expression serene but weighed down. Janelle follows her. Chris, how do you feel? Christine freezes for a moment. The wind rips through her hair, and for the first time, she doesn't appear angry or bitter, only exhausted. Like I'm finally done carrying what wasn't mine to carry. Kody emerges next, but this time without confidence in his step. His shoulders droop a little. Robyn follows him, but keeps her distance. He says under his breath, "They'll never understand what I tried to do." Robyn leans in close and whispers, "Maybe it's time to stop trying to make them." Kody looks at her, his eyes softening, a fleeting glimpse of the man he once was. But when a reporter shouts, "Kody, are you afraid of losing everything?" he stiffens. Then softly he says, "I already did." That evening, Christine sits alone in her apartment, surrounded by papers and memories. She thumbs through ancient photos on her phone, birthdays, holidays, family dinners where everyone smiled for the camera even when they weren't. She closes her eyes, says a whispery, "It's over," and puts the phone aside. But deep down, she knows this ending is just the start of something new, a new life, a new strength, a new chapter where she no longer has to share her worth or beg for honesty. And as the screen goes black, the narrator's voice hangs on. Tomorrow, the verdict will come, but tonight they all face their own kind of judgment, the one that lives in their hearts.